gym, but I do love going for a walk with my daughter. How do you get your children active and away from the TV? We have a few ideas and ways to get your children involved in healthy activities.
Well, Little Kickers is a concept that's been brought here from England, where we come out and we try and teach the kids some soccer skills. It doesn't involve soccer, just soccer. We do colour coordination, hand-eye coordination, running with the ball, dribbling with the ball. Well, we start from as young as 18 months to 6 years, but the groups are split, so it's 18 months to 4 years, 4 to 6, and then sometimes 6 to 8, which is multi-kickers. It's a very friendly environment where the kids come down, it's not so competitive, they get turns to play, everybody gets to go at the same time, go in pairs, and they make lots of friends, new friends, so it's very friendly and good for them. It depends, because sometimes the parents are a bit shy, to come and act like crazy people, but they do well. They run with the children, they run around, they scream, they give fives, so it's quite fun actually for all of us.
We saw his passion for soccer and we went through the internet and we found the Little Kickers. Then we decided to bring her.
We saw the talent. This boy is always kicking ball inside the house, moving around, kicking TVs, everything. So we decided that, let's just search for, soccer where he can actually do his practices. And we found the Little Kickers, and we decided to take him here.
I first decided, we both decided together that it's an important aspect in his development, because soccer encourages discipline as well as sportsmanship and teamwork, and we felt that it was a good decision to make. He's now 3 months with Little Kickers. He's enjoying it, he's having a lot of fun, and that's what we like, because he's learning at the same time. And also he coordinates the ball much better, and he also controls the ball much better. He's enjoying it. I think that every child should have fun with learning at the same time, and that's what we are happy about. And also it gives us a chance to come out together as a family. We can spend time together with him. It's more quality time, and it makes us get out of the house as well.
Well, I think the best age for children is probably 4.5, 5 years old. Because sometimes when they're much younger, I would rather prefer to let them do like creative movement, to see what their motor skills is all about. But just because ballet is very intense and it can be fun, but sometimes it can be really hard. But I think the best age is 4.5, 5 years old. I think the best benefit that ballet gives children is, their self-esteem. They concentrate, they can really do things on their own. And as well as in the class, they focus on themselves. Yes, it might seem very selfish, but the thing is, they really focus, concentrate. Even when it comes to their homework, when they have to go home and do their homework, they would sit in one place and they would do their homework. And also it really helps with the mind and also the creative spirit, so it's very, very beneficial. And in terms of socializing with other young children, which I think is also the best thing, and listening to instructions and taking the instructions and applying it, because those are most important things, because when children are growing up, they always need to be able to be guided. And so within a class, they are being guided to do certain exercises, to stay in a certain posture way, and also their self-confidence and their health-wise, in terms of it's very good for them. They're starting exercising and they start taking care of themselves as from a younger age, because I think nowadays we sometimes forget about ourselves, and then when you're only older, then you think about, I should start exercising, but you should start it should be a lifestyle. And I think that is what ballet teaches, and also the art of dance. My little girl, she loves moving around, and so I think sometimes it rubs off onto the child. I dance, and she also loves dancing, she also likes classes, but I won't force her to do anything like that, but she willingly comes and do things. And I think sometimes that you find children that just does not like exercise. So it's probably the way that child is. Or, I mean, my husband, yes, he loves exercise, but he won't do it like all the time. But I think there is some children, when their parents are exercising, they also love doing that. And I think that is a good kind of a relationship. It builds a relationship between the parent and the child, as well as like just having that bond. Because when that child leaves, they will always remember, I used to run with my mom, I used to do this with my mom. And then there's always this bond and this connection with the child and a parent.
Tutu means something like something. You don't know what a tutu is. Tutu means something. Wait. Tutu? Going to bed?
I feel guilty every morning when I have to wake up and go to work. I love my job, but I also love my daughter. Today we talk to some high-profile working moms about how they balance family life and career.
Sure. When I realized that I was going to be a mom and thinking about my career, it wasn't too difficult because we'd planned the first child, the first pregnancy, and because the industry then, I was in radio and I was only producing a show and then doing a Thursday night and then doing a Saturday morning breakfast show. So I was pretty flexible in terms of the time I'd have. So it wasn't much of a panic. It fitted in perfectly into my schedule at that time.
Well, with my second son, going back to work was a bit of a tearjerker because it had been so long since my first one, you know. So then I really had to leave him home and leave him with Elizabeth, the helper, who's been with us for about 12 years, 13 years now, which is really great. I was confident, but at the same time there was some anxiety because I was also older, you know, but you know, the career was calling. You know, it was time to get back, and you know, there's anxiety in terms of, you know, you've been gone 3-4 months. What are you going to go back and do? How are you going to be received back? And you really haven't been in touch, you know, because you're trying to kind of focus on the child at that time. But you know, you go back and you find your feet fairly quickly.
You strike a balance, and I'm happy that I'm at a point where I think just because of age and experience now, I'm able to strike a balance, and when I can't, I'm honest to myself about it, I'm honest about it to my husband, I'm honest about it to my children. I say to them, if they want to do certain things, you know, Mama is really, really tired, can we do this tomorrow, or can we do something else that's not as hectic? But fortunately, because of my husband's schedule that is worse than mine, I've decided to take the back seat and be the one that is home. It's a conscious decision that I took, which I'm very happy with, because now I'm able to see my children grow. I'm able to be there for the firstborn. He's 7 years old. I'm able to be there when he plays his matches. I'm able to be there for meetings, something that I hadn't been able to do prior to the last 3 years, because I was doing an afternoon talk show at SAFM that was slap bang in the middle of the day from 1 until 4. So now that I stopped that, and my show now in the evening at Kaya gives me the whole day with them, I can spend time with their father before he goes to work. He does a show at 5FM at 3 o'clock, and I can spend time with the children, and I also have time to myself, which is very important to me.
I think as of a month ago, I'm beginning to strike the balance. But the past 3 years, I really hadn't been striking the balance. You know, working in the presidency, in the spousal office at the time, a lot of traveling we did. And, you know, for the second term of last year, my eldest really felt it. I was called to school. He wasn't doing well, at least 2 or 3 classes. And, you know, at school he went to school and said, well, my mom's not home, you know. And then at home says, Mom, I don't have homework. So he found the gap, you know, and played the school against mom. And in the end, I mean, he suffered, but I knew that I needed to pay more attention to that. Simply because the traveling was a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time. And it became a bit of a burden to the family, to myself in terms of overall health and well-being. But, you know, for that balance, it wasn't happening. You know, my husband is a diplomat. He's in Harare at the moment as an assistant deputy ambassador. So that brings in a whole new dynamic as well to the home environment. So balance, not yet.
There's never been any guilt. I just miss them like crazy, and especially when they're younger. Wandi now, our second born, is now 17 months old. I can't phone her and say, Mama, how are you? You know, whereas with Tato, who's 7, being able to talk to him and saying, Papa, how are you doing? What are you doing? He can tell me, I miss you, Mama. To come back home. He can ask me, when are you coming back home? I can say to him after 2 sleeps, after 4 hours, whatever. I think the older they get, it's easier because then I can just say what I need to say. They can also just say to me. So that communication is important and it helps a lot.
When career and family time overlap, then it does pose a great difficulty. As a broader family, we have family lunches with my gran once a month, and then for family birthdays and things like that. And you know, over time you miss a lot of those, and you just seem to be, you know, the distant relative, so to speak. But one does want to be part of that family unit, and you know, over and above the family here, the broader family, one wants to be part of that. Those kinds of moments are important, and that's when when work begins to interrupt, then I feel guilty about saying, oh gosh, you know, what kind of career has one chosen, and how can we then continue to find that balance.
Please join us again at the same time next week when we will be discussing educational toys and sleeping problems. Goodbye for now.